Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working our way towards attacking Mexico. It's definitely going to happen. Now off camera I've queued up 3 munitions plants here because I've noticed that ammunition is currently expensive. Funnily enough, since the Whig Party exists now, cool. Funnily enough, since I restarted the game, we're no longer seeing an input goods shortage of small arms. That's interesting, right? I didn't expect to see that. Regardless, we're going to finish up these arms industries and munitions plants around the same time-ish. That'll be fine. And we're just working up our military production at this point to be able to support our frankly ridiculous amount of army growth. And there will be more. There will be more. So realistically, all of these barracks are going to be built eventually, right? And there's some extra civilian stuff at the end. We'll get to that. We need to work our way through these military constructions first. Okay, we're currently removing from our investment pool 32.8k per week. So once that runs out of money, this will be roughly halved. I was thinking if we're making this much money, we might want to consider expanding our construction, but I'm not sure that's actually going to be the case here. Okay, so we're deliberately depressing our prestige right now. We could actually bump up our government wages here and not be deliberately depressing our prestige. That would probably be good. We'll go ahead and do that. And we're working our way up here for sure. Our GDP is increasing, but it's not going to increase at a tremendous pace while we're working on our military, right? The Cherokee blood is indeed on our hands. There's no doubt about that, but we don't really have a choice. Here we are. So that's fine. Also, this is going to make the Civil War really interesting. However, all of the arms and munitions plants are in the north. But there's going to be a lot of troops on either side. I think that the South, like in history, is going to have a real problem with supplying their forces. They just lack the industrial base to be able to pull it off, right? Like, that's primarily the reason why the South lost, is they, A, didn't have the manpower. The North had substantially more manpower. And B, they didn't have the manufacturing base. They were never going to win. It was pretty much never going to happen. So we're proceeding with our constructions here. Munitions plants and arms industries, both being in New York. I suppose these two are in Virginia, which in theory would secede if it follows history. I'm going to actually cancel these two arms industries. A, because they're in Virginia. B, because we're not actually seeing an arms industry shortage right now. So I think it's okay. Alaska has its gold depleted. We would definitely like to get Alaska from Russia at some point. I don't know if we'll get an event for that or not. We'll see. For the time being, though, a torrent of gin and beer, huh? Do we want momentum added to the Whig Party? Honestly, no. We're the Democratic Party right now. It's looking mediocre. We'll see how that plays out. That'll be interesting. So 4 weeks at this point until our munitions plant is built. We're now beginning construction on these barracks. Okay, the Democratic Party wins with 66% of the vote. So that means that Kenner Schuyler, the guy with all those runaway slaves, is remaining president. Okay, so we're at a legitimate government with 85 legitimacy. There's no reform that we can do to improve that, so it appears fine. Our number of loyalists is about equal to our number of radicals. Okay. Untrained hands, huh? Up in Maine. So children have suffered injuries in our furniture manufactories. Keep them off the factory floor. Honestly, they should be getting education. What do we have going on here? Public schools? We do have public schools set up. Child labor is currently allowed. And we can't change anything there. We're on per capita taxation right now. And that wouldn't really change too much. We're currently quite negative in our income, but that is because we are not removing from our investment pool because we're building all of these barracks. That is fully expected. We'll go further negative in our income here, but we're not truly negative in our income. We're technically still positive because our investment pool is growing more than our gold reserves are shrinking. So I'm okay with this. This is looking completely fine. Enacting censorship is probably not what we want to do here. There is an explosives input goods shortage, and that is something that we should definitely deal with. So chemical plants are going to be necessary. We have 3 in Ohio right now. We have 1 queued for Indiana. Noted. I'm going to take Ohio to 5. Indiana to 5, and we're going to move up our chemical plant that is currently queued in Indiana. There we go. So that now means that we're positive here again because that's coming out. Yeah, the Yukon territory had its gold depleted. That's coming out of our investment pool now since we're building factories with it rather than barracks. We're barely building this barracks right now, so it's okay. No real problems here. But that explosives input goods shortage does need to be dealt with. Crystal glass for glassworks has become unlocked, which we definitely do. Beautiful. So we're now seeing a lead input goods shortage, or we were seeing a lead input goods shortage. I do want to get a lead mine built. That'll be in Illinois. For now, that's all we're going to do is that singular lead shortage, or that singular lead build. I don't know why Illinois was stuck open there, but now it's not. Cool. So we're working our way through these barracks. They will be done fairly quickly once we get our lead mine and chemical plants done in 17 weeks. Cool. Low market access in New York is something that does absolutely need to be dealt with as a top priority. Illinois is highlighted again. Okay, whatever. So we'll get that railway built. That does mean we're putting very little emphasis right now on our barracks. But I think that's okay. We have a Mana Wars input goods shortage. We could deal with that by building additional... What am I looking for here? Shipyards. Those are currently producing just clippers. Hang on. Is this not what we want? Naval bases? Those consume Mana Wars. So I think we need to go into our urban area here and change our shipyards... A, to be on reinforced wooden ships, and B, to be on possibly just military shipbuilding. Yeah, just military shipbuilding looks like it will satisfy our demand. Okay, that's likely going to drive the price of wood up, and we will tackle that, of course, by building a logging camp in Pennsylvania. There we go. That will delay our constructions here a little bit, but I'm okay with that. It won't be too much. The chemical plants are going to be finishing up fairly soon. That railway is high priority. The lead mine is going to be done in just 5 weeks. I'm not concerned about it. Yeah, this is going just fine. Absolutely okay. So our GDP is now at 60.6 million, continuing to climb. Our literacy rate is rising. Our standard of living is holding fairly firm, and a big part of that is our slavery, I'm pretty sure. Slaves are a large percentage of our population and are kept in artificially low standards of living. Now, I'm not 100% sure that slaves are included in the lower strata. They are. Slaves are included in the lower strata. So, yeah, that's definitely depressing our lower strata's standard of living by a significant margin. Okay, noted. So we are done with our lead mine at this point. That looks good. Wood and tools are still considered expensive. We're now running an input goods shortage of engines, which is unsurprising. We'll bump up our motor industry that we already had queued to top priority. And those chemical plants will be finishing shortly. Now we're dipping negative in our income again for the same reasons as before. We're not concerned about that. Chemical plant finishing up in 5 weeks, railway in 6, that motor industry in 17. Market access in New York is chilling at 97%. Interesting. This is depressed by the input goods shortage of engines. This is not to do with needing additional railway. Our throughput here is just very low because we don't have engines. That's the problem. Gold has been discovered in Nevada. Well now. We definitely want to attack Mexico, right? 100%. This should be pretty free, but we're still working on getting all of this construction done. Wood and tools are still considered expensive. So I would like to get ourselves another logging camp out in Pennsylvania. And I would also like to get a tooling workshop in New York. We'll get those going. But we're not going to queue up anything beyond that for this moment. We're working on our barracks, and we've got 43 weeks on all of this construction. Cool. We're keeping an eye on things that are expensive or that have a shortage. But for now, I'm completely fine working through this construction queue. And once that's done, then we'll attack Mexico. Once we're back on our civilian constructions. Keep in mind, our GDP growth here is a little depressed. Yeah, gold has been depleted in California. Our GDP growth here is a little bit depressed because we have not been building civilian constructions very regularly. We've been building a lot of military at this point. That's okay. We're fine with this. We're currently extraordinarily strong. Like, 124 plus 309, we have an army power projection of 1164. Great Britain's is less than that. France's is a little higher. Prussia's a little bit higher. But we're definitely up there with the big boys, right? Can we see our army power projection in this list? I wish we could. It's just prestige, GDP, standard of living, and population. It would be nice if we could see the power projection in that list too. Sadly, we cannot for right now, but that's okay. We're going to be done with these constructions in 33 weeks, and that's looking very good. All of these barracks finishing up is going to be huge. We're very negative right now in our finances. I don't care. That's completely and totally okay. Whatever. Tooling workshops will be finishing soon. Tools and wood are still expensive. We kind of expect them to remain expensive virtually forever, though. Like, we're barely having an effect on them by increasing our production. Out of curiosity, we're the number 4 producer of tools. Okay. Noted. I don't know what I just hit escape on there. It was something. And it sounded, based on the audio cue, like a good thing. But I don't know. Oh, the fugitive slave is probably what it was. So Kenner Schuyler's slave escaped. Again, this guy's the president. He keeps having his slaves escape. And we keep returning it because he's the president. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? The answer? Nothing. We're going to do nothing. So our current prestige is 910. We're number 5 in the world now. We have surpassed Prussia for the moment. We're catching up with Russia. So that's all looking good. The tooling workshops are going to be done in 3 weeks here. And we're 36 weeks away from having all of these barracks done. 2 more weeks on the tooling workshops. That's all looking good. We're about to have reinforced concrete finish up. That will give us more throughput on our construction. That's good. We like that. What else do we want? Well, probably more construction speed, to be honest. Construction speed is extraordinarily powerful. Other things that are extraordinarily powerful include population growth. Enact slavery band. Again, this is not something Kenner Schuyler is going to do. I wouldn't mind doing that and trying to avoid the Civil War, which should be breaking out quite soon, actually. Like, not tremendously soon, but pretty soon. Costa Rica started an import route for tools. Sure. And let's just get all of these barracks finished up. We're very, very close here. Excellent. So we're only like 5 weeks away from all of our barracks finishing. The rest of this, we don't really care about. It can auto-queue. Reinforced concrete has just finished, giving us 15% construction sector buildings throughput. And let's see, we already grabbed labor movement. Indeed. So I think labor movement is fine. What we need from here... Let's see, is construction in society? I don't think it is. No. What we need from here is almost certainly going to be... What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for not... Well, that leads to arc welding. So pneumatic tools requires rotary valve engine. So I think that's what we go for now. The rotary valve engine will unlock quite a lot for us. The open hearth process wouldn't be terrible either. But I think for the moment, that'll do. Okay, so up to 131 for our construction now. That's looking good. Excellent. And these barracks are going to be done in just 2 weeks. We've got all of this auto-queuing at this point. That's looking good. We're going to start really, really removing money from our investment pool. But we've got a lot built up there. I like it. That looks great. I just want to make sure that everything is set to auto-expand before we declare this war. It'll probably get broken after the war, but for the moment, goldfields and gold mines can't be auto-expanded, sadly. For the moment, the rest of that all looks good. Okay, anything that we really, really need to work on. Tools and wood are both expensive. It is what it is. Okay. So we now have 166 battalions. Is that currently capped out? I think there's still going to be more recruitment going on. But I think we're ready. So we need to definitely promote this guy. Right? How many do we have in reserve? Let's check in here quick. 76. Yeah, I think that we do need to promote each of these at least once. So that's up to 38, 39, 30, and 31. Okay, that's much better. So, if we're going to start a war with Mexico, who is going to be angry? Kind of nobody, I feel like. So we're going to go for conquering the state of Texas. Great Britain or France may intervene. I don't think that they actually will. But just to make sure, we are genial and amicable here, and cautious and friendly here. Okay. It should be fine. So we're going to go conquer Texas. And can we add additional war goals? Yes, we can. So what we want to do is we want to conquer additional states. First things that we want to conquer is, like, canonically, like, traditionally U.S. states. The rest of these will be a lower priority, and we may come back later. Now, these will result in infamy. So, Mexican Colorado. Demanding this uses up 11 maneuvers. We have 100 maneuvers remaining. The amount of maneuvers you have is limited by your rank. So is that the number of maneuvers per diplomatic maneuver? It must be. So we have 100 total maneuvers. So we're going to look to conquer Mexican Colorado. We're going to look to conquer Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. So we have 49 maneuvers remaining. We want to conquer California. 32 maneuvers remaining. From here, we can kind of just go for a couple of these, right? So we can go for, like, Sonora. Just go down the list here. And then we can add in, from there, all we can do pretty much is Rio Grande. And that gives us 3 remaining. Okay. So from here, we don't have anything else that we can put in. This is a maximum that we can conquer. Cool. So we're going to mobilize this guy. And how many fronts do we have? We have 2. So we're going to send him to the New York-Utah front. We're going to mobilize this guy and send him to the Oklahoma-Utah front. The rest of our forces we will hold in reserve for right now. Actually, we may want to have these guys defending on those fronts. No, I'm going to send them as well. And we'll see how expensive this gets. And if anyone decides to join. So, we need to look at our infamy. We are currently notorious. That's dropping by 5 per year, giving us 50% radicals from conquest. Noted. Okay, so we need to look at what's going on over here. Both Britain and France are leaning towards Mexico. If they join, we raise our conscripts. Can we take both of them? Probably not, is my guess. Small arms are currently expensive. I feel like that's okay. If they join, we mobilize. France sided with Mexico. Okay. We're mobilizing. So we're going to activate conscripts. How many? All of them? I feel like all of them. So we're going to do something like this. Activating every single conscript we have. Winning this war is of vital importance. France sided with our enemy. Hopefully Britain doesn't. We'll see. We'll see. Actually, we do not have a... they would accept make puppet or make dominion as a sway. Gross. Okay, we're going to promote each of these guys another time, allowing them to have additional troops under their command. I'm going to take them up to level 4 as well. There we go. Cool. So France has begun mobilization, as expected. France broke off their trade agreement with us. Fairly expected as well. We're hoping Britain doesn't join. If Britain joins, problems could ensue. They just began mobilization. They do have another war happening, right? So Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador are kind of meaningless threats. Small arms are currently expensive, and I do feel like we should probably expand our arms industries. We'll do that at top priority. The rest of these can continue constructing. We are a bit negative in our cash right now. I'm not shocked about that. France began damaging relations with us. Unsurprising. I'm not expecting Britain to join in on this. Definitely not. So, the question becomes, what does France do? And do we need to... Let's see, we're on patrol coast in New England right now. Seek out and destroy enemy vessels along the coastline. So, there's also Dixie over here. Right. So we can have him on one or the other. Okay. We'll see how long it takes France to get here. We have entered the countdown to war. So at this point, we cannot sway Great Britain. I don't think they're going to join. Cool. So we can see that we've mobilized a lot more than they have. Why are we seeing 40 flotillas here when we only have 20? Do we have 40 in reserve? No. Okay, just checking. I am a little bit salty that France decided to join this, but let's go. War has broken out. 2 arms. So we will commence our battles, right? I do want to make sure that we have all of this at maximum, which I believe we do. Yes, indeed. I want to check 1648 is our power projection right now. Noted. So France may try to land down over here. If they do, we'll pull one of these armies over to deal with them. Artillery and small arms are both expensive right now. That is expected. And these trade routes are inactive, as we would expect. We have an input goods shortage of small arms and die. Well, we're working on the arms industries as we speak. And we're very, very negative right now financially. This is not surprising. Not surprising at all. We do see advantages on both fronts for the moment. And we are pushing our way in here. We're definitely occupying territory. I like it. We see a 100% advantage up here now. That's looking good. Excellent. We're definitely running a big deficit. I fully expect that. We need to get these arms industries done, and we're just keeping an eye to see if the French land an invasion force. For the time being, they don't appear to be landing one. We're easily conquering up over here. No one is opposing us on this side right now. But we're also taking territory over this way. We did get pushed back a little bit over here. But that seems to be okay. Let's see. We're now... Oh, new fronts have opened. Okay. So I want Hazen Weber to come advance on the New York-Utah front. Robert Lee is going to move over to the Oklahoma-Texas front. How many fronts do we actually have here? I'm confused. What are all of our fronts? Let's go into our war here. So we've got these 4 fronts. Who is not... Well, who is assigned to 2 fronts? Oh, this guy's just not here yet. Okay, now he arrives. Cool. Okay, so the Indian removal is proceeding. We're going to coerce them by bayonet point. We cannot afford to give them additional finances at this point. So we will proceed forward. The Indian removal has been successfully completed. Let us pray that this shall never happen again. Indeed. Okay, so the war is ongoing. The French being in this war definitely make things more difficult for us, but it's a good thing at this point. Let's see. Can we get the French out? I don't think so. It's a good thing that we built up our military beforehand. That's for sure. So we're finishing up these arms industries in 10 weeks, right? Industrial barriers, huh? We can't afford the manufacturing and industries throughput. All hands are needed to build the future. Cool. So we are continuing to proceed and take territory here. We are winning this war, but France is only 2/3 mobilized. How mobilized are we at this point? There's probably more mobilization that we can do. Let's see here. Does it say over here? We're 97% mobilized. We do have more battalions than they have. We're going to take higher losses, but that's because we're attacking. That is to be expected. So we're just going to continue to press on through here. We've got our 4 generals attacking over, looks like 2 fronts right now. Most of our generals are currently up here. I feel like we should pull Robert Lee down to this front. He's currently engaged in battle, though, and we can't move him until this battle is over. Okay. Because I definitely feel like we should reinforce this front over here. Maybe not, though. We're actually losing this battle kind of. It's 1-2, so that's not shocking. This French battle over here, we are easily winning. So we're going to go into debt here right now, in fact. We are now in debt. This is not shocking. But yeah, we do end up losing that battle over there. No shocker there. Okay, so we're currently still running a small arms, artillery, and ammunition shortage. Well, not really input goods shortages. Well, no, we are running small arms and artillery input goods shortages. So we need more small arms and artillery. I definitely want to look to import some if we can. We'll import some from Britain. So that's small arms, and we'll import some artillery as well from Austria and Britain and Russia. We'll need more for small arms as well. Austria and Russia. There we go. Cool. So all of that is being imported. We also require additional arms industries. No surprises there. We're going to queue up 5 here. And we also require more munitions. We're going to build these actually elsewhere other than New York because we're out of peasants in New York. So we are instead going to build these in, say, North Dakota. Okay. So those are low priority for now. Do we need to import munitions as well? Most likely. So we'll import ammunition from the British market. It's not much, and it's an unproductive trade route. So we're not going to do that. We'll get rid of that. There we go. Beautiful. Our market access in Pennsylvania is currently low, and we do need to fix that. Okay. And with that, it is past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue fighting Mexico and France, of all people. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Spartan News, Unisil, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.